Picture this. It's a Tuesday evening. You walk into your local supermarket with a single, highly specific goal. You just need 1 gallon of milk. That's it. You tell yourself, I'm going to be in and out in 5 minutes. But fast forward 40 minutes and you're pushing a heavy cart out those sliding glass doors, staring at a receipt for $100 in groceries. You didn't plan this. You didn't even want most of it when you walked in. So what on earth just happened? Welcome to MarketMindLab. It's incredibly easy to blame ourselves when this happens. We look at the extra bags of chips, the random exotic cheeses, the magazines, and we think, man, I just have absolutely no willpower. But actually, that's fundamentally incorrect. Your overspending isn't a personal failing at all. It's the result of a carefully designed psychological heist. See, the modern supermarket isn't just a building where food is stored. It's a highly calibrated system completely engineered to control your brain and manipulate your behavior. In this explainer, we're investigating the hidden strategies and psychological principles that drive the business world right under our noses. Today, we're unpacking the invisible architecture of your everyday grocery store. And get this, research shows a staggering statistic. A massive 66%, literally 2/3 of what we buy in a supermarket, is entirely unplanned. 2/3. You are basically flying blind for the majority of your shopping trip. So to understand exactly how they do this, we have to look back at how this entire system was born. Now, this phenomenon didn't happen by accident, but it did start with an unintended side effect. Let's go back to 1952. An architect named Victor Gruen designed the very first indoor climate-controlled shopping mall. And his intent was actually quite pure. He wanted to create a comfortable community space for socializing, sort of a modern town square. But when people actually started walking through his creation, a really strange result occurred. The maze-like paths and the overwhelming stimuli caused people to become completely disoriented. They literally forgot their original intentions for being there and instead just started buying impulsively. Retailers quickly noticed this highly profitable phenomenon, and they officially named it the Gruen transfer. This is a psychological state where a complex layout intentionally disorients you, stripping away your original intentions and completely replacing them with an urge to buy impulsively. And this is the major turning point of our story today. The Gruen transfer is the exact effect every single modern supermarket uses to make you lose track of time, space, and ultimately your budget. Section 1. The sensory trap. The conflict between your wallet and the store's invisible architecture begins the very second you step through those automatic front doors. It's an immediate, coordinated attack on your senses. Think about it. Almost universally, the first thing you encounter in a grocery store is the floral department, right? Followed immediately by the produce section. You're hit with the sweet smell of flowers and the bright, vibrant colors of fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, this placement is not about value. It's entirely about your emotions. It builds this notion of fresh in your mind. Stores use bright, highly focused lighting here to make the produce look impossibly vibrant and appealing. You haven't even found a single item on your grocery list yet, but you're already feeling good. Your guard is dropping. It's honestly brilliant how deeply your physical reactions are being managed. Because once you're past the produce, the smell of the bakery usually hits you next. And that scent of freshly baked bread isn't just pleasant. It actually physically activates your salivary glands. It makes you feel hungry. And as we all know, hungry shoppers consistently buy a lot more food. At the exact same time, you'll likely hear slow-tempo music playing softly in the background. This is a highly calculated choice. Psychological studies show that slower music subconsciously forces you to walk at a more leisurely pace. The slower you move, the more you browse. So within 3 minutes of entering, you're now moving at the store's speed, not yours. Section 2. The destination maze. Okay, so once your senses are primed and your pace is slowed down, the store shifts its focus to manipulating your physical journey. Remember that gallon of milk you came in for? Notice how it's never ever near the front doors. No way. To get it, you have to follow a very specific sequence. First, you navigate the flowers and produce. Second, you're forced into a winding maze of central aisles, passing display after display. And third, only then do you reach the dairy section, which is typically located in the absolute farthest back corner of the store. This is known as the destination product strategy. By putting the most frequently bought items at the very back, you're forced to traverse the entire layout. Along the way, you pass these high-profit, end-cap displays at the ends of aisles. You might assume these are great discounts, but often, they really aren't. They're simply expensive items placed directly in your inevitable path. Section 3. The shelf battle. But hey, it isn't just the floor plan that's out to get you. Even your line of sight is being aggressively manipulated. When you look down a grocery aisle, you're looking at highly contested real estate. The shelves are strictly divided into strategic zones. The absolute most critical one is the bullseye zone, which rests perfectly at adult eye level. This is where the most expensive, highest margin brands actually pay a massive premium to be placed. They want to be the first thing you see. Contrast that with a kid's eye level zone on the lower shelves. Have you ever noticed what sits down there? Sugary cereals with brightly colored cartoon characters looking slightly upward, making direct eye contact with your kids sitting in the cart. It's wild. So why does this shelf placement matter so much? Well, when a child sees that cartoon character right at their eye level, they react. They reach out. They ask for it. This triggers a phenomenon that retail psychologists call pester power. And listen, this calculated placement isn't just some minor trick. Giving into pester power can increase your total spending at checkout by up to 40%. 40%! You think you're the one choosing your groceries, but the design of the shelf is actually choosing for you. Section 4. The psychology of size. Let's look at how psychological biases are weaponized against you through the actual physical equipment the store provides. Think about the shopping cart for a second. Over the last few decades, modern shopping carts have steadily, quietly grown in size. I mean, they're massive now. This leans into the bigger is better theory. When you push a massive, empty cart around, it creates a subtle psychological discomfort. It triggers this innate, subconscious desire to fill the empty space. When you drop your single gallon of milk into that cavernous wire basket, it just looks lonely, right? It makes your planned items feel smaller, manipulating you into adding extra items just because there's physical room for them. The data on this is absolutely wild. Retail experiments have shown that simply doubling the size of the shopping cart leads to, yet again, another 40% increase in total sales. You toss in an extra bag of chips or a box of cookies, not because you necessarily wanted them, but because the context of the cart made them feel like totally insignificant additions. And speaking of context, we absolutely can't ignore the loss leader trap. You know those incredible deals you see right when you walk in? Like the $5 rotisserie chicken or the ridiculously cheap carton of eggs? Well, the store might actually take a financial loss on every single one of those items they sell. But the thing is, they don't care. That cheap item is just bait. It's designed to get you inside the building and make you feel like you're saving money. They know the statistics. They know once you're inside the maze, you will inevitably buy high-margin products, like a $6 bottle of barbecue sauce or a $12 container of vitamins, to compensate for their loss. You think you're winning the shopping trip, but they've already calculated your defeat. Section 5. The outcome. This brings us to the climax of this entire psychological operation, where the physiological breakdown of the shopper becomes fully complete. By the time you finally navigate to the front of the store, you are exhausted, whether you consciously realize it or not. I mean, you've just made hundreds of micro choices. Should I get the organic apples or the regular ones? Which of these 20 types of olive oil is actually best? Do we need more paper towels? This relentless comparison shopping leads directly to what's called decision fatigue. This is the scientific term for the deterioration of the quality of choices made by an individual after a long session of decision making. Simply put, your brain is literally running out of willpower. And that is precisely when you enter the checkout gauntlet. You're tired. You are finally standing still in line. And what is sitting directly at your fingertips? The ultimate impulse buys. Candy bars, cold sodas, glossy magazines. As the research notes, because your brain is depleted, you give in. The store has won the final battle. You tell yourself, hey, it's only one chocolate bar, completely unaware that the entire store's layout was designed to bring you to this exact moment of weakness. Section 6. Escaping the system. But here's the good news. You don't have to be a victim to this layout. How do we go in for milk and actually just buy the milk? Well, you have to break free from this invisible architecture. Our sources provide some highly actionable survival tactics to fight back against the Gruen transfer. First and foremost, never shop without a strict physical list. The rule is incredibly simple. If it isn't on the paper, it doesn't go in the cart, period. Second, set a hard budget before you walk in and use your phone's calculator as you shop to keep a running tally. This forces you to remain logical, not emotional. Third, never, ever shop hungry. Eat a quick snack before you enter to neutralize the sensory trap of the bakery. Fourth, break that eye-level manipulation by actively searching the top and bottom shelves. That's usually where the better value generic brands are hidden away. And finally, if it is at all possible, leave the kids at home to completely eliminate that 40% markup of pester power. The grocery store isn't just selling food anymore. They're selling a highly engineered experience, meticulously designed to confuse your senses and empty your wallet. So, now that you know the invisible architecture working against you, are you ever going to shop the same way again? Think about it. What is the absolutely most ridiculous thing you've ever bought on impulse while wandering those aisles? Thanks for exploring this explainer with us on MarketMindLab, and we'll catch you in the next one.